Crying most of the time. So fear, I think. I was frightened of doing it wrong, or, hurting the girls when they were little, because, I'd never looked after a baby before. I was resentful that my old life had gone, that I couldn't do anything when I wanted to do it or how I wanted to do it. And again, I felt that I was stuck in that loop and I'd never be able to do those things. So I'd say fear, resentment, and overwhelm. One of the most challenging moments for me with Grace was she had a really severe eczema as a baby, and I became completely controlling and obsessed with her eczema and making her better, because that's what mums do, isn't it? It's mums' jobs to make their children better. And if their babies aren't, I couldn't see that she wasn't ill. In my mind, her eczema meant she was ill, and therefore it was my responsibility. And that became all overwhelming. And I just used to spend hours just crying, feeling that it was my fault and why couldn't I make her better, because that's what a mom's job is to do. It was all completely twisted in my mind, and I just couldn't see the wood for the trees. I was just in a big dark hole. And as soon as I woke up in the morning, my first thought was, what's Grace's skin going to be like today? Even though my husband at the time was saying, she won't remember this, she's fine, that wasn't hearing what I was actually saying. What I was actually saying was, yeah, but I'm not well. I'm struggling here. Actually, Grace is probably fine, but I am not fine. Can you hear that? And people just couldn't hear that. It was other mums, but I didn't have other mums when I had Grace. So when I had Neve, my second daughter, I made sure that during my pregnancy, I gathered a group of other mums around me. And at that point, our friends had started to have children, so they had their first when I was having my second. But I made sure that I had a group of mums to hang around with postnatally that I just didn't have with Grace. So it was sharing the experience with other people that knew what you were going through without you having to explain it. That made the biggest difference to me. I guess my positive memories are when the girls are very little and they would just say, "Mummy, I love you." And even when you've had a really rubbish day, so I could have had a rubbish day at work, or tea had been smiley faces and fish fingers, and I'd forgotten something they needed for school, I hadn't done their reading, and they would just at bedtime go, "But Mummy, I love you." And that just makes it all worthwhile. That's the moments when you stop and you look at yourself through the eyes of your children rather than your own critical eyes, and you think, you know what, I must be doing it all right. If they think I'm brilliant, then I'm doing okay.